Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another video. Today is a very important video because we're going to explore a topic here that is controversial and can be difficult for all of us to talk about, and that's about relationships and the types of people we allow to have in our lives. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If the 5 people you spend the most time with, your significant other, your friends, etc., are people who are negative, don't manage their money well, maybe they complain and gossip, but you're trying to break out and improve your life, and I'm assuming you are if you're watching this video, it can be very challenging to do this because the energy that you're associated around is still trying to pull you into that cycle of behavior. Meanwhile, you're here focused on ascending and improving yourself and leaving negative people, situations, behaviors, and thoughts behind. Specific types of people in your life are very toxic to your development and are really tough to be around when you are ascending, when you are growing, when you're building something and creating a better life for yourself. First type, I would say to cut off, and let's talk about that before we talk about the types of people. You don't necessarily have to completely cut them off, because I understand some of these, probably a lot of these, are going to be family members. They're going to be people close to you or people that you've really known for a long time. So maybe you don't cut them off completely, they're family, but you've really got to limit your interactions and protect your energy and monitor how your interactions go with these types of people. So the first types of people are complainers, people who whenever you're around them, they've got nothing good to say. They always are just complaining. Oh my God, the political landscape is like this. The politics are so bad. My boss is so stupid. My friend's just arguing out about this and that. And oh my gosh, my back hurts and I'm so out of shape and blah, blah, blah. And it's just all this negative, just diarrhea coming out of them. And here's the distinction. If they're venting and they're complaining about something, but it's in a constructive way, i.e. at the end, they're talking about ways to solve the problem, to change their behavior, to remedy the situation, that's great. That's actually exactly what you want to be around, because that shows that that's somebody who is aware of what is not working in their life and they're venting, but they're creative, they're constructive about overcoming that problem and solution. I always say that when people come to me, sure, sometimes people just need to vent and let it go, and that's fine. But if it's somebody consistently coming to you just venting and complaining with no solution, there's no point, because they're not willing to change their mindset. They're not willing to change their behavior. They're not willing to change their thinking. It just becomes a drain on your energy. So if somebody wants to complain, but they give you a solution, I think that's fantastic. That's actually a great person. So there's an important distinction to be made. The people that just want to complain about their lives, how bad they had it a night at work, they're not making enough money, but they're not doing anything about it. They're not changing anything. They're not talking about solutions. They're just focusing on problems. It's just a web of negativity that you don't want to be around. So that would be the first type of person. The second type is somewhat similar to complaining, but it's slightly different. It's people who gossip. People who are talking about other people to you, or they're talking to you about other people negatively. Oh my God, she's so stupid. I can't believe she's dating that guy, blah, 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 blah. That's just toxic behavior. I believe it's Eleanor Roosevelt who had the quote, "Small minds talk about people, average minds talk about events, and great minds talk about ideas." So if you're around people who are just gossiping, they're into the business of everybody else's lives, this just shows that they're not focused on their own lives. They're too busy focusing on everybody else's lives and putting them down so they can feel better about themselves, even though, again, they're not doing anything to improve themselves. It really shows this kind of holier than thou, type of behavior and thinking, although it really comes from insecurity, because the only reason anybody ever puts anybody down or talks behind their back or talks to you in a condescending way is because they're insecure, so they need to put you or other people down in order to elevate themselves and make themselves feel better. So this is a very toxic type of person I really would recommend getting away from. Along the same thread as the first type of person, the complainers, the next type of person I would say, people who are just not focused on growing. Now, this isn't incredibly toxic. Some people are in a comfort zone and it's fine and they're happy with their lives and that's great. But you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you're really trying to do better in your life, become a better person, you're trying to grow, and you're around people who are not focused on improving their lives. Let's say that can be a common example at work. You are around a bunch of people who gossip and complain about your boss and how crappy it is at work, and gosh, this organization's so blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Again, all this crappy negativity, but they're not doing anything about it. This shows that they're not focused on growing. And that's the type of person I'm talking about. People who don't want to grow. Now, if they're comfortable and they're happy with where they're at and it's all good, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. More power to them as long as they're happy. But if you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and you're focused on creating a business, on getting in shape, you're focused on making more money, on improving your relationships, on planning adventures, new experiences in this life, and you're around people who are not growing, what often happens is that as you do better and you're talking about the things that you're improving in your life, to them, it can be very triggering because it comes off as braggadocious. And they think that, oh, God, they think they're better than me. I've known them for years, and all of a sudden, because they're getting in shape, they think they're so good. It has nothing to do with you. You're just sharing your success and how good you feel as a result of working out, and that you're excited that you can, you've lost 20 pounds and all these things, and you're eating healthier, and you're talking about it. And now they're like, oh God, here they go talking about how good they are and how in shape they are. And they get triggered because basically now you're focused on growing, and it's triggering them for what they're not doing in their lives, and they're not growing. And so then it becomes this weird negative energy, and it can lead to gossip and all this stuff behind your back, right? And so they all you'll see many of these similar traits in the same types of people. The other types of people that I would say maybe not super toxic, you can just kind of listen to them, it's all good, it's not necessarily super negative, or people just talk, but they don't do anything. So it kind of goes hand in hand with complaining. They're talking about this, or they're talking about the things they're gonna do, or they're talking about, that's actually not so bad, but you wanna be around people who are taking action, the doers, not the talkers. So the talkers that aren't doing anything to change or grow, and they're just like, well, this and that, it kind of goes along with complaining. Find yourself, create a group of people who are doing the things you want to do, who are actually building a business outside of your current day job, who are in successful, happy, loving relationships. I'm sure they have problems, but talk to those people, be around those people, the people who are in shape, who are eating like you are, who are wanting to go to the gym or do yoga or meditation or whatever these things are that make you feel good and improve your life. Be around those people who are doing those things, not just talking about them. Along with the next type of person, it is people who are just not open-minded. They're not open-minded to especially feedback. So you may talk to somebody, we'll say like a friend of yours, and they have all this, feedback, and you actually are open, you're sharing with them different things going on in your life and talking about how you want to improve your life, and they're giving you feedback. Well, you should do this, you should do that, or hey, maybe you need to work on this or whatever, and you're open to it. You're listening to them. You're saying, okay, let me just try it on for size, even if I disagree. Well, they wouldn't be saying this for no reason. So let me just think, maybe I do need to be more communicative. Maybe I am not effective in my communication. Maybe I am not as kind as I could be. Maybe not. I'm not as efficient as I could be. But then they're a friend of yours or a family member, and you're giving them feedback and being like, hey, I've noticed that blah, blah, blah. And they just get super defensive. They shut down. They're not open to your feedback. Well, this just shows, again, they're not open-minded, and they're operating from a place of ego. And it becomes this kind of battle where they think by you just giving them open and honest feedback, you're attacking them. These people are extremely draining, very draining, because here they are, they have all the wisdom and advice in the world for you, but they're not doing anything to change their own lives. So, okay, but you're still open because you're in this place of growth and humility and you want to learn, you're listening. But when you try to have a mutual discussion and you give them feedback when they're talking about situations in their life and they get super defensive and they don't want to hear it, and now they think they're being attacked, this just shows the level of emotional and mental immaturity that they haven't come to terms with themselves and be, so they're at peace with themselves and humble enough to listen to the ideas and feedback from others. It can be very draining to be around these people. So people who are not open-minded, that get defensive when you give them feedback, really limit your time with these people. And I understand, again, as I mentioned before, that a lot of these people that I'm talking about are in your life. Certainly with me, I'm going through the situation right now, which is the impetus for this video. A lot of these people probably are close friends that you've been friends with for a very long time. They are family members, maybe people that you talk to on a daily basis or a weekly basis. You see them all the time. So it doesn't mean that, especially a family member, you just cut them off and never speak to them again. Although you might, if someone's that toxic and they literally are just like, just all this crap, and you're just like, dude, get out of here. Just block them, like get away from them. Like I've had family members, I've cut off many family members. I've cut off many friends that I realize are no longer in alignment with who I am now and who I'm becoming. And the funny thing is, I'm in the best place of my life right now as a result of cutting a lot of these people off, which really gives me confirmation that I made the right decision, that I'm happier than I've ever been. I'm getting in better shape and health and fitness, and I'm really focused on what I'm doing and my purpose and my path, my business, and all of these things as a result of me dropping some of these people, or limiting my time and interactions with them. The last type of person I'll talk to you about, and you can see how a lot of these are related, are energy vampires. Now, what is an energy vampire? An energy vampire is someone who, when you're around them, you're walking on eggshells. It's just so draining at all times to be around them because they're either just so negative or they're so disrespectful to other people, or they're just on such a low level of consciousness. And after every interaction, you're just like, oh my God, thank God that was over. Like, I'm so tired. Oh my gosh, being around that person, or you feel like crap, or maybe they even attack you and they're like trying to plant these negative ideas and tell you how you're doing things wrong and all this stuff or whatever. Energy vampires, the best way to tell if someone's an energy vampire, or anybody, if they're good or bad for you, is how do you feel after you hang out with them? And this brings me to the last point of the video. What are the types of people you should be around? It's the same measurement of the types of people that you shouldn't be around, just different sides of the coin. And it's this simple, guys. It really is. After you, or even during the interaction with someone, do you find yourself being drained energetically? Do you find yourself really not enjoying this person's time? Or after the interaction, which leads us to the types of people you should be around, are you inspired? Are you energized? Are you excited? Are you really looking forward to seeing them again, talking more about what we spoke about? Are you really inspired and energized? Those are the people you've got to find and surround yourself with. If you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with and you want to be a millionaire, are you around a bunch of people who are in debt, who are really struggling, living paycheck to paycheck? Or are you around people who are researching new ideas, learning new skills, maybe studying accounting or marketing or writing or video editing or etc. Fill in the blank, speaking new languages. They're growing. So you can see the shift here. There's 2 sides. People who don't want to grow and aren't open. People who are actively doing the things and researching and learning and growing and going to the gym and eating right and bettering themselves. They're growing. They're going forward. And do you feel energized around those people after you hang around them? These are the people you have got to seek out and build your circle. The final thought on the video: it's a lonely journey when you begin to do this. When you begin to cut the people off in your life that no longer serve you, because you'll realize, unfortunately, there's not a lot of us out there that are really trying to better ourselves, who are learning, who are growing, who are open to feedback, who want to become the best version of ourselves. It's not a common thing. And so it may be lonely at first, but what that loneliness is actually grief. It's a little bit of sadness, because grief is the feeling of loss. It's healing a gap. So when you're cutting people off out of your life, there's a gap, there's a void there, and you've got to grieve and heal at the loss of these relationships or these interactions, but all you're doing is creating space in your life for the people that should be around you, that you want to be around, that have the businesses, the relationships, the body, the lifestyle that you want, that are doing these things that you want to do, who are living and similar to the version of the person that you want to be. So look for the people and surround yourself with the types of people who are living the life that you want to live, and cut these people out or limit them, and you will watch your life grow. It might be lonely at first, but this is the time of healing, of self-reflection, and getting to know who you really are and honing in on who you want to be. As you hold that vision of who you want to be and you move steadfastly in that direction, you will, as your energy changes and you let go of the toxic connections, begin to attract like-minded people. People who want the same things for their lives as you do for yours. So that's what I have for you guys today. I love you so much, and I will see you very soon in another video. Peace.